Hi everyone, this is the reflection for our lecture on 829 Friday. This is one where we talked a lot about orbitals. I really introduced them to you guys. I know there's a lot of confusion there. We didn't quite get through all of it. We're going to pick it up on Wednesday after Labor Day. And unfortunately, we have a few people making up the quiz, so I'm not able to go through that right now. But sometime next week, I'll probably post the key uh, up online for that. So in class, I finished with a couple example problems, and I told you we didn't have time to go through them, so I can go through them online. So I'm here to do that right now. All right, everyone. So I talked to you guys about the electrons, how they sort of pack around a nucleus. They can fit in shells and subshells. We started going through a number of these. Started working through. I walked through the first 8 of them or so, and or I guess all the way up to 11. And said that there's a couple examples I want to show you. I also want to show you this picture I got from a colleague of mine, which maybe helps visualize it. I kept sort of referring to this, that if you ever get confused about which orbital should go next, to look at the periodic table, because that will tell you. So hopefully you can tell from here. So this top row is a little bit of an anomaly, but all these other rows, right? These s orbitals, if you remember, s orbitals can only hold 2 electrons. So each orbital can hold 2 electrons. And there's 3 p orbitals and 1 s orbital. So this can hold 2, that can hold 2, this can hold 6, right? 3s can hold 2, 3p can hold 6, 3d can hold 10, etc. Right? So if you look at how this looks on the periodic table, this 1s houses these two, 2s is these two, right? And 2p is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3s is these two, 3p is these 6, and you can kind of continue onward. And we'll talk a little more about the d's on Wednesday because we didn't get them yet. So remember, this is what we're talking about here is a periodic table, right? So if you want to figure out, you can use this sort of little key to think about it and think about where your electrons might end up. So I'll run through some problems here. Let's say, where am I going here? Just a second. All right, so we're going to practice these electron configurations. So this first one, let's say chlorine, okay? So how do we go about this? All right, when you figure out where it is on the periodic table, so go back here, chlorine is right here, right? So chlorine is, what's that? If you remember what we said, that would be the 3rd period and the 17th row over here. And so we look down here, 3rd period, 17th row is right here. Okay, and so what we do is we start with the most recently filled orbital, or full, we call it full halogen, so this side over here. And so that would be neon. All right, so we'd say that this chlorine, it starts with neon, so you have all neon's electrons. Then we start filling after that. And so what do we fill? Right, so we start here. We've got 1 electron here, so it says 3s1, 3s2, 3p1. Try these little arrows here. All right, 3p2, 3p3, 3p4, 3p5, okay? And so if we wanted to write out the electron configuration, we'd say this is 3s2, 3p5. Okay, so that's all you would do for that. If you did not write this neon, if you instead want to write out all of these electrons too, that would also be marked as a correct answer on an exam. It just gets to be a lot of writing, so which is why I didn't do that. It's a little shortcut. Okay. So if we then look at potassium, you figure out where potassium is on the periodic table, and potassium is here, right? So we are in the 4th period in the 1st group, okay? And so that, the most recent, this is after argon, right? And so what we'd say is, okay, this is argon plus other stuff, okay? So if we look at this on the map here, our periodic table is down here. So basically all we have is argon, right? Here's argon, plus 4s1. And so that's simple. So it's just 4s1, right? And again, if we were to write out the entire number, so this would also be correct. Another way to write this would be 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s1. Okay, this would be the same answer as that. That's why I wrote it this way, because this is a lot shorter. Okay. So we're going to pick up with this on Wednesday. This is we're about midway through chapter 2. Just as a reminder and a warning, we are going to have homework and a quiz next week as well, even though it's a short week. So I'm going to post that more sapling homework this over the weekend, probably tomorrow, and the quiz on Friday. I'll give you guys a warning about that on Wednesday. That's basically going to cover the material from Friday through Wednesday. And the sapling material will basically we'll be finishing up chapter 2. So hopefully you guys can go ahead and get ahead and read ahead on that and be ready to go for Wednesday. All right, I hope you all have a great holiday weekend.